Hello, friends. I feel like I'm crooked. My little camera holder thing fell off because it's been so hot here. It fell off and I had to reposition it, and now it's crooked, but I'm driving, so we're not going to mess with it. And I think I have a piece of egg in my... I did brush my teeth, but then I ate a little more breakfast. So hopefully there's nothing in my teeth. On my way to see my patient this morning, who, by the way, has not let me know that she's going to be there. So we may be driving 26 minutes out into the country for nothing. Does not surprise me. Maybe I need to, I don't know, I need to readjust things if this is the case. So, hey guys, it is the 20th of May. We are making progress in the month for sure. Do I go right here? Yeah. And in 2 months, I go to the beach with my in-laws. So my husband's parents and his twin sisters, who are super duper fun, and we always tend to find things to do. They were on my channel maybe a couple of years ago. Yeah, the year before last, we did like a Weight Watchers recipe together. Go back on my channel. If I knew how to link it somewhere, I would do that for you, but I'm not exactly sure. I've tried that before and it never seems to work. But anyway, we'll be back together, so maybe we can collaborate and do something fun for you guys, like another little cooking video or something. And, you know, all the things. I'm very excited because you guys know that I am a beach person. So what we're trying to do with them every couple of years, we don't do it every year, but every other year, is get a beach house or a house that's kind of close to the beach, because sometimes those are more affordable. And we just hang out. A couple years ago we bought like snorkeling gear so that we could do that, and we're staying kind of in the same neighborhood and everything. So we go to Destin, and there's an outlet mall, and there's a lot of like state parks, and you know, we can go do that and stay somewhere just with family and enjoy our time together, which is great. I feel like I haven't seen them in forever, which I haven't, right? Because the last time I saw them was at the wedding last June. So it's been almost a year. Oh my gosh. This last year has flown by and been so incredibly surreal. So I don't know. It's just been very weird. I'm like, what? I don't even remember what I did last year except do a lot of Tupperware parties, which was really fun. I adopted a cat, which I love my kitten so much. My little Prudence is her name. I've shown her, I think, on here and other places. She's getting big. So I adopted her last fall. She's my 2020 kitty. And I worked really hard. I worked really hard last year. Yeah, so 2021 has been an interesting experience because I feel like things are different for everyone. I remember when we went into lockdown, and my boss at that time, my supervisor, she said that we're going to have to get, you know, used to like a new normal, and I was very resistant to that. And then I think about like what that looks like now, what life looks like, even though we have, you know, things happening where we're not as locked down and there's less, you know, all the stuff. There's less of that. Things still feel very different. And so, district police. Oh, that's like the high school police. All right. So anyway, I think maybe like experience of people has changed, and so that's been very interesting, and I won't go too much into that, but there's a lot of things that I didn't have to think about or address prior to last year that now it just makes it more difficult to interact sometimes. So that's all I'll say. We're trying to say this in like the most broad and general way possible. But yeah, it's just it's been challenging, and there's been some good things, for sure. So I really love my job. I'm really hooked in now to what I'm doing, and I feel more engaged. Although I get very peopled out now more easily than I used to. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, or last year was just because I had to experience people in a different way. I need more time to recharge from people, especially like, I'm around a lot of people that I wouldn't say that I would normally choose to be in my life, but they're in my life because of work or other obligations. And so the reality is I have to interact at a certain level of professionalism, and in a way that sometimes does not feel very authentic, because I can't just say what I'm thinking. Like, what the heck are you doing? You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? Or what in the world is up with you? Just can't do that, And I don't think that I would have done that before 2020, but I think I had less of a reason to do it. It's very different. Okay, so that's where I'm at, like, mentally and kind of emotionally. I'm in an okay place. I will tell you guys, I think I've had like you guys know okay, let's back up. I was diagnosed when I was 30 with a generalized anxiety disorder that I went on medication for a year. I also did a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy. I had a psychiatrist. That was fabulous. She knew her stuff. I did a lot of counseling. I read the book Boundaries. If you've never read that book, you need to read it. I stopped watching the news. I stopped watching violent movies. And I started picking and choosing the people that I was going to interact with in life. Well, the internet screws that all up, I think, because if you interact on the internet at all, it's harder to have boundaries. Because everybody just puts all their crap out there that normally, if you encountered them in real life, they wouldn't tell you all this stuff, and you wouldn't have all these inappropriate self-disclosures. Google that, inappropriate self-disclosures. That's what we see a lot of now in our culture. I didn't need to know that about you. I just want to encounter you in a acquaintance-like manner. I'm not your bestie, and I don't need to know all your stuff. Well, social media and the internet has screwed all that up for people. So our boundaries are screwed up. Right. So, in this day and age, someone like me that has an anxiety disorder, and I tend to worry about everything and everyone, and then I get depressed chemically, I have to be more careful, which means taking blocks of time off and then being very careful about how I speak to people and who I speak to when I have that choice. I remember my counselor asking me, she's like, Amy, do you feel like when you talk to someone, you always have to say, how are you? And I said, yes, that's very polite in terms of Southern, the way that you speak to people in the South, okay, is you say, hi, how are you? And you're not always expecting an answer. Like, I'm good, how are you? Or nice to meet you, or hi, nice to meet you. Maybe it isn't nice to meet them, but hey, you say it anyway. Or yes, ma'am, yes, sir. those are things that culturally, because I'm from the South, that's how I was raised. The problem is when you ask people in my position as a nurse, as a priest wife, hi, how are you? They feel like this is an opening, an opportunity to dump all their crap on you. And of course, professionally speaking, that is part of my job, to intentionally go in and say, hi, how are you? And then actively listen and assess and all of those things. But I don't have to do that all the time. And I've had to learn that. Well, I've kind of fallen back into this as the priest wife. And, we've only been doing this. He went to seminary in 2009. So I grew up as a pastor's kid. And my parents, kept me very protected and kept those boundaries for me. And I always said I would never be a priest wife, But then you go into a church situation and you do mean it when you say, how are you? Because the thing is, there's one of me and there's however many of them. And my husband and I know all the stuff that's going on. Thank God I don't know it to the level that he does. He knows all the stuff. And I have just like a 10% view, which is enough for me. Thank you very much. So I know what's going on. In a lot of cases where people confide in me and I'll be like, hi, how are you? Not realizing this is going to be an hour-long conversation. And whoever I'm talking to may just really be going through it, but I may not have the capacity to deal with that because I've dealt with it all week long with my patients and then the 4 previous conversations that I've had with people at church. So it's learning a boundary there, and instead of saying, hi, how are you? Say, hi, it's really good to see you. And then moving on. Just something that simple is like life-changing for people like me who are in helping professions and people professions, is being very aware of how you speak. So I've been going back to that cognitive behavioral therapy and working on that because you guys, I feel like maybe I was giving too much and I was not taking care of myself, which leads to me stress eating and, all the emotional eating and the not getting my walks in because I'm so stressed out, and then worrying about everybody because people have they have real problems. And, it's not that people at church don't have real problems. It's that I can't handle all their stuff on top of my own. You know what I mean? I'm not in that place. And they don't know. That's not their problem either. I'm actually doing them a disservice when I offer myself up in a way that I cannot fulfill. I can't pay the bill. I can't pay what they're charging me. I don't got it. It's not in my wallet. So maybe that will help you all as you're reframing the way that you interact. I have found that with the world right now, because people are so divided, sometimes it's just really important right now. Many of us do not agree with each other. Is to just smile and say, it's good to see you, or you have such a pretty smile, or I love the shirt you're wearing, and move on. We don't have to encounter each other at such deep and intense levels. Like, come on. This is not the way my grandmother used to do things. She would go to the grocery store. She did not have to take a selfie. She did not have to do a grocery haul. She did not have to tell everybody what she was eating for the day, or how she was feeling, or how her marriage was doing, or how bad the kids were being. She'd go to the grocery store. She'd see the same lady at the cashier and say, hey, Marge, it's raining out. And Marge would say, how about them Yankees? Because my grandmother loved baseball. And then they would just move on, right? And then she'd see Marge the next week and have the same conversation. We used to just have these discussions at the water cooler that were 5 minutes long, because that was the break that you had. And maybe you'd say like, ooh, hey, did you see the Oscars on TV, you know? And have a little 5-minute discussion. You didn't see this person's whole freaking life on Facebook or Instagram or whatever to the point where you felt like angry or thrilled or, I mean, however the emotions are. We didn't have to deal with that with everybody. So, that is my exhortation to my friends out there. If you're having a hard time, and I have been having a hard time with all that, is to step back and reevaluate boundaries and read that book. M. Scott Peck, I think, is who wrote that book. It is completely invaluable, and it's life-changing if you apply the concepts in there. He used to do workshops and stuff. Okay, let's just talk about what in the world. Let's talk about keto for a minute. I am week 3 into Dr. Eric Westman's intensive. I've been watching the videos and reading through all of the posts and stuff, and I feel really, really good. Man, I feel great. My weight is still sticking around the low 250s, and that's fine because my clothes are fitting better. I have a ton of energy. I'm sleeping a lot better, and I'm very sensitive to caffeine right now, so I've noticed that I can't drink anything caffeinated after like 1 o'clock, or it's disrupting my sleep. So there's something to that. If you guys know about that, let me know. I get very satisfied very easily on the foods that I'm eating, and I'm not like, so I was so proud of myself last night because I went to Walmart to pick up a couple things. Oh my gosh, I picked up the best little budgeting and travel books for $2.88 each because my husband and I are working on a different way of doing our budget. That's a whole other discussion. But while I was there, I walked down the Keto Atkins treat aisle and I picked some things up that are not on my food plan, but that I could potentially fit into carbs in the future if I want to. And I started looking at ingredients and thinking about how I've been eating and how good I feel. And I was like, this is so tempting, and I just put it back. I was like, it's not on my list, and I can have it if I want. I can have anything I want. I have that choice, but it's not going to advance my health goals right now. So I was so proud of myself because normally I'd be like, I'm going to get it, just keep it in the pantry and blah, blah, blah. No, I know you won't, Amy. No, you will not. You'll get it and you'll eat it. So, plus, those treats do not fit into my total carb outlook right now and the way that I'm doing things. And I feel so good. I don't want to mess it up. But anyway, loving what I'm doing. Most importantly, I love the way that I feel on it. It really does help with appetite control to eat this way. And I think that's like the number one takeaway. And then also it's really helping with like mood and energy and satiety and cravings. So, is it the only way to do things? Absolutely not. Okay? Is it the only way to be successful? Absolutely not. This is just one approach, and I'm enjoying it. Is it sustainable? Well, every day you get up and you make a choice just like anything else. It's like anything else where you get up and you say, today I choose to do this. The next bite I take, I'm going to lay off the carbs, like Keto with Casey says. She has a great YouTube channel, Keto with Casey. She says, just lay off the carbs. And you don't have to make it into some big, like, dramatic thing every day. What did my grandmother used to call, like, histrionic women? Which I don't think that's politically correct to say that anymore. Wilting daisies. Oh, everything is so dramatic all the time. And, that kind of applies to everybody right now, is that we all can be a little overly dramatic, right? Right. We won't go into that. But I'm trying to get away from that and just be very sober and be, sobriety. Like, wake up and say, I choose this today. I felt so good yesterday. I just choose this for myself today. And not overthink it and overprocess it and just stick to the food list. So I'm feeling great. wanted to check in and say hi. I'm almost to this person's house. We'll see if they are there and if I can do my job. And if not, I will go home and find other things to do, because Lord knows there's plenty of it. But I hope you guys are staying in orbit out there. Thanks for sticking with me. I am working. I got a promotion, so I am working really long hours. So during the week, I'm just sort of MIA, and that's how it is at the moment. But we're going to continue trying to do a little bit more over here on my channel, because I do value you guys and your friendship and your support. And I love hearing from you. Okay? Take care. Bye.